Smurf here, and we're doing another episode of Trustless Degens. It's episode 20 something. I'm just throwing numbers in the title thing by now. We adjust them afterwards. But yeah, this is the show where we talk about all things considering the market. So all things pretty much insert buzzword here. And we say buzzword here, we mostly mean on-chain, blockchain. We're a little biased. It does say it's a crypto podcast, but that's okay because we have people like our resident normie. Thank you, Resident Army. Love it. Bullish Satoshi, but he sometimes is also Rex. And Bitfiend. And I am Lars. No, I'm your host, Smurf. Yeah, so to start off today's episode, we're going to be talking about all sorts of things. We're going to be talking about Bitcoin, Ethereum, different altcoin plays, NFTs, GameFi, the Federal Reserve. If anybody watched anything today, I know I popped into a meeting and they're like, "Oh, what were you doing during the break?" And I was like, "Yeah, I was listening to the Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell talk to the House committee." They're like, "Oh, fun." Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna be talking about all these things today. But before we do, gonna suss out the room. We like to start with our resident normie so that he does not feel influenced by anybody's opinion, as if you would. How are you feeling about the market lately?
It's the same as always. Bearish. Not to say that we're not in a rally of any kind, and again that you can't make money, but yeah, overall still bearish.
He's bearish. All right. The opposite side of the spectrum potentially. Bullet Satoshi. How you feeling?
Looking pretty bearish right now. That's how I'm feeling. That's how I'm feeling.
Look a little bearish out there. Look a little burr.
A little cold, a little chilly.
And it's definitely a little burr. I'm gonna go on to Bitfiend first. Bitfiend, how you feeling? He's in different metaverses. Bitfiend don't chill.
I'm always feeling pretty good. I saw that Matic was down quite a bit, so I did buy some.
Noise.
I was feeling pretty good about it.
Yeah, I too partook in some Matic buying. I was like, you know what? I missed the entire run up after like a certain point. I like last time I bought was at like 95 cents or something like that. And I'm like, ran up a bunch. Let me get a little bit more Matic. I'm happy to, so I got in there. And that's kind of like, that's my take on things. Like, yeah, it's feeling bearish, a little burr. But at the same time, there are certain assets that I already decided, I decided a few weeks ago, especially, where I was like, you know what, even on the more degen side of things, I'm kind of just sticking to assets that I want to hold long term to at least medium term. And by medium term, it's like half a year or longer. Like I want to see that this thing develop and what happens. But I'm only going with those type of assets regardless. And so I feel like a lot of the losses have been kind of minimized because of that. But that's what I'm doing there. Let's check out the actual market real quickly and see how things are going to eventually give us these opinions we got. Oh, I think somebody's echoing a little bit there. I can hear you. Well, you being me.
Shouldn't be me.
But all right. The market is looking frothy to the downside. We got Bitcoin down 8% over the last 7 days, Ethereum down 7%. We don't talk about Tether. That's Bruno. BNB down 4%. Cardano 12%. Even though apparently in an article that I was reading earlier, just a fluff piece, they're saying that Cardano is at an all-time high in terms of TVL on the blockchain. So or in DeFi, I believe was specifically. So yeah, moving, but whatever. OKB still breaking into the top. I feel like it's such a sleeper. It's gonna be interesting to see what a token like this does. I almost want to really look into it more. But I know in general, any of these exchange type of tokens, whether it's centralized or I guess because BNB is up there, right? Whether it's centralized or decentralized, they've been like the top tokens. That and layer ones, right? Cardano, Bitcoin, BNB to some extent. Ethereum, it's like all everyone's Dogecoin, even though like no money's on Doge. Polygon is a weird cross hybrid thing. Solana, Polkadot, Shib. Overall, yeah, the market's down in the red. So the Infinite wins this week in terms of what's actually happening in the market. Are you happy, Infinite? Cosmos 2, TVL reaching all-time high?
Happy? No. Nobody likes seeing people hurt. I'm not laughing at anybody's pain.
It's a good week. It's a good week still, Bonesy. Still, I paid $1 for an NFT and it popped off. It's still up, still profitable. And I was just like, whatever. I did a little bit of research. I'm like, says they already had this exact same project on this block. I don't know, man, but it was the most NFT like type of research ever, because it's like, all right, looks like they've already done this NFT project on this blockchain. Oh yeah, sell me on it some more. Oh, it's a clone of these other NFT projects that are done on these other blockchains. The only difference is they swapped out the background and now it's blue. Sell me on it some more. Potential founder is a scammer. Bye. And off it went into the races. It's been a lovely ride. It's the most NFT thing you can
alleged scammer.
Alleged. But who in crypto isn't? Richard Hart is an alleged scammer. Come on.
I was just shocked by the rhetoric and what was going on in that message. But yeah, I don't want to really hash that part out, but it was interesting, guys. So yeah, in one of my groups I found this like super degen CryptoPunks, like basically a copy of CryptoPunks. And so yeah. I was it was interesting because like they don't have a website. They didn't have a mint page. I had to mint it from the contract. It was like $1. It was like $1 per NFT. It was so addicting, like minting a bunch of NFTs for like almost no gas. And so I minted like 20 of them bitches, bro, because I was like bored, and I was like, I'm about to mint these, and then I got distracted and had to stop minting, and then. Because look, I promise you, there wasn't even 3,000 minted yet.
Yeah, I only didn't get to go because I will admit that like once I pushed the button a few times, because like I like the fact that it was more like this whole like you got to understand how to, number one, you're on Arbitrum, so you understand crypto a little bit, right? You're on Arbitrum, and then it's like, oh, actually, you just got to interact with the smart contract on Etherscan or RBScan, and I was like, oh, again, keep selling it to me. And then once you bought it, like you said, I'm like, oh, it's so cheap, whatever. It's like $1. It's like my first like NFT on Arbitrum because I missed out on the little GMX ones and whatever, and I wanted more. But my ledger wouldn't have it, and then it creeped me out. And I was like, "Oh, why isn't Ledger liking it? Like, oh, I'm not doing it then." And I only let my bad wallet get some of the play.
First of all, why the fuck are you minting stuff from your Ledger wallet? Red flags.
Look. I took it as a sign. I was like, you know what? It's not made to be. I need to go to the Degen wallet, and I went to the Degen wallet. Exactly.
There we go. Yeah. Use the Degen wallet for these things. Don't use the Ledger wallet to connect to NFT contracts. That gives me bad vibes.
Look, it gave me, but not immediately. But then, it was like, you know what? It's probably good this is failing. You don't want to do this. You don't want this.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. So, anyway, only 3,000 of these. Only 3,000 of these things were minted at that time. I leave and come back like 6. I forgot about them. I had checked what mine looked like and everything, whatever, and then I hit up some people like, hey, look at these. You can mint them through the contract. Kind of cool. just because it was just stupid and low gas.
Yeah,
And I
Satoshi was
come
actually a
back.
big part of their marketing. So he doesn't want to admit. I'm like, let's get you a referral link.
I was an unpaid marketer. I'll give you that. So decided to come back and take a look at them, and they're up like 20x. I'm like, oh shit. So I started like overreacting. I'm like, oh shit, y'all, we done did it. But I'm like, then I started thinking like, 20x $1 is only $20. Like, damn. So then I was just like, well, let's just see what happens.
I know this feel
Fun,
because that's
though.
exactly how I was feeling, and I was like, I gotta push it more. And I got a few for the Trustless Degen account and stuff. So there's a few over there, and it was nice waking up in the morning. They went from being like $1, guys, to give you guys some dollar amounts here. They went from being like $1 when minting like $1.50 or so like that to $30 the next day. So it was a nice come up for any dollar that you put down on the thing, and even right now, it's about $15 to every $1 that you put down.
If you look at the amount of Ethereum that they've sold on OpenSea, it's the most on any collection on Arbitrum, like
I was
by
trying to
far.
get it here, but like, what is like? What's this? I don't know. I can't because it's not this one. It's the straight blue ones. Maybe it's the blockchain. Is it blockchain? Are they doing
It's
that?
punks on Arbitrum is what you want to type into the search bar.
Thank you.
Yeah, there it
It's
is.
a relief right there. There we go. Yeah, I just wanted to show off the collection a little bit. Yeah, 50 ETH. Wow. 0.07 floor. Wow.
And so what happened was, so they did like 40 ETH in volume in just that one day, and it was trending on OpenSea's stat pages, and then suddenly it was gone. Like they had shadow banned or removed it from that OpenSea page. So the exposure and the hype was gone. So that's when the floor started crashing. But dude, there are whales that have like 100, like 400, 500 fucking Arbitrum punks, just because it was so easy and free to mint, or not free to mint, but so low cost to mint. But dude, I think this like format that they did could definitely be copied easily. Like, I mean, these are basically just copied punks from almost exact copies of the CryptoPunks that are, I think, owned by Yaga now. Like, doesn't Bored Apes own?
Do they own CryptoPunks? I'm not sure.
I think they do. So
don't get me started on the labs.
They're looking to get verified on some other NFT exchanges, and they're just chilling. They got a Discord. They say that they're getting a website built. I mean, I don't know. I have no expectations. I hope. Yeah, I do want to do a giveaway for a punk.
We'll set that up.
I have one that reminds me of Eric. Let me show you. Hang on. If I can.
I've seen the guys with the orange hats. I'm like, I got an orange hat like that. I want one of the guys for when I'm wearing a different hat. I'm not always wearing a purple hat like in Discord. Jeez.
I wish Eric was watching.
You get typecasted. Might be.
Crypto Twitter claims there is a Cosmos chain making a new. There's a Cosmos chain making new total value lock highs on the year, but the price hasn't followed yet. So is it Kava, or is it like because I've been hearing a lot about Kava lately these last couple days.
Is Kava a Cosmos chain?
I don't know. That's what I'm wondering. This one looks just like our boy Eric Wilson right here.
Eric Wilson.
Eric Punk right here, man.
I feel like I feel like Eric vibes is a lot of the punks. I feel like he's a.
Anyway, these are the punks that I actually bought these at the top, so I'm back holding.
Hell yeah.
And these are the ones that I mentioned. But I did get lucky and get this like number 11 on open rarity. And then I got some pretty cool ones. I really like this one here too. Pretty cool, pretty chill. You know, maybe one day they'll go back to $50 and I'll dump them all. And
this man's not happy with the price right now. This is what I'm talking about. Like look,
I need more gains.
This is what I have to bring up for Trustless Degens, right? Okay, guys. So, like this is why I wanted my wallet to be working perfectly and stuff like that, so I could at least send them around and stuff. But whatever. So we bought up one for Trustless Degens. So that means we spent $1 in like, I don't know, maybe in gas total. Maybe it's like $1.75 because like the 150 and then the 25 cents gas or whatever. $1 to make $15. Like that's a more than win. That's how you slowly get your account up. Like we can now because like right now I'm like we really have to consider we really have to consider selling. Like first thing I said to Satoshi in the morning was like, yeah, I need to sell it, but it was a really busy day for me. But
he did. He actually told me to sell, and I was being fucking stupid and just like being crazy.
I was like, that's a bunch of money overnight. You need to just take that.
Being greedy and just like being like, oh yeah, whatever. But yeah, I'm not really tripping on the price. Really, I don't really mind. You know, coming back now, I didn't spend a bunch of money on them, so I don't know.
Yeah, same, right? That's the thing about crypto and like DeFi in general. Where a lot of people, I mean, crypto in general, really, it's like because people think that about Bitcoin too. They're like, oh, the price is down, this and that, and blah blah blah. And I'm like, I know, like, 15 looking at the screen. You're like, I don't know. Last time that I bought a decent amount was maybe like it was like $2,000 or something like that. You're like, it's up a lot. If you've been like, the longer you've been in the market for like, and the same thing goes for like a lot of these altcoins. If you get in earlier, it's like, what did you get it at? You got it. It's like up 200-300% from like what you got, 500%, and you're like, yeah, no, yeah, I'm hurting. But realistically, yeah, it just does. It takes some of the pain away. Like, yes, it's nice to have the largest number in the room. Everybody likes to have the largest number, but it's not going to hurt so bad when you're only up 300%. And then you also consider things like that's right. I also sold a bunch. It's like, yeah, like look at your port, and you also, I don't know. It's just the simplified thing. It's time in the market versus timing the market. Always wins out. Always going to win out. Being in the market for doing things like what we're talking about with these Arbitrum punks. Because right now, this has got me like, yo, I got to find some other Arbitrum NFT projects. And I was already feeling like that. I think I mentioned during one of our other shows. I was like, I already wanted to find some more. I saw like the Puff one from before this. And I was like, oh, man, I missed Puffs. I missed the blueberries. I want to find something. And look at that. And Satoshi's been killing it with his calls. He's been killing it. He'll bring me something. He'll bring me something. And I'm like, because we'll tell Bitfeed in the chat. Like, you guys are just Degens. But he'll just bring me stuff. And I'm like, bro, what is this? Like, he's like, just jump in. I'm like, yo, no. Like, I didn't even know what it does.
Just buy it. Just buy it and wait a few days.
Get in.
It's crazy. I have been on a roll lately, and really, it's all because of Smurf reminded me that I need to like use Dex tools and like use these websites that we have now where you can go digging and fishing and find stuff. And then like there's a lot of new stuff out there, and that's all I'm really finding is I'm just like going on Dex tools, going to the new live pairs, and looking at the stuff that has like decent starting liquidity, you know, somewhere around like 85,000 to 100,000 liquidity. Go and check their socials, check their holder
count. That's a decent amount of money.
I really like getting into stuff with like less than 250 holders, or like anything less than really like less than 800 holders.
Man, Satoshi
And
micro
then
cap
just-
hunting.
and then just waiting for like 200 more people to buy. And really, I should be selling at the top, but I'm really just like, let me hold this and see what happens in a couple months or like a year or something. Like
Man.
I'll when it does go up, I'll take my initial out, what I put in, so I'm not really on the line for anything, and then I'll just wait.
It's really hard to it's really hard sometimes being like super early, because like you want to being like as early as Satoshi's claiming like right now is like a mixed bag, right? Because like I've messed up like 3 like in the last bull run, I definitely messed up with FEG token. Like that was like me and my homie where like I was like, dang, like FEG just moons one day. And it's like it moons to the point that like if you had like $100 or something like that in it, you would have been like at $500,000. It was like insane. And I'm like, yo, did you keep any? And he's like, I got a few $100. I'm like, damn, yeah, I did not keep any. But it was like that monumental. And like even on this little Arbitrum bull run, I've seen it with the ARC token. And like I decreased my ARC back. I was like, I felt overexposed, but I got like a bunch of ARC for like, like 40 cents or something like that. It's like $1.70, $1.60 or something like that today. It's like a few weeks. We saw it with Grail. It's just happening over and over again. So yeah, it's just a matter of you want to fade these opportunities. But one other thing that I wanted to display here, let me hop segments a little bit. This is something that I was thinking about today. I wanted to make sure we included was while there's opportunity to earn from just being early to some of these plays in general, there's also opportunity to earn yield. And kind of stole the show right there. From pairing up some of these tokens. So I mentioned earlier that I'm only going into plays that I like as like a more long-term or medium play. So tokens that I'm basically building a bag of. So that could be like your Matic token. It could be your Bitcoin. It could be your Ethereum. We're thinking of more new plays and stuff like that, or things that are in the Trustless Degen index. It's the Magic token or GMX, whatever. But in all these cases, you can earn a yield from supplying liquidity for those. So I'm over here on DeFi Llama, and we've been going to DeFi Llama a bit recently. So hopefully it doesn't look too unfamiliar with folks. But you can use these different filters here to separate and basically just find let's find find the good yield for you. And so you can also do it by chains. And so we're looking at Arbitrum right now. That's where things are hot. So you select everything, select Arbitrum. Now we got these yields popping up. They're going to do it by TVL. So like who can support the highest yield and still have a large TVL GMX with almost 500 million supporting a 10% APY yield on GLP, which is kind of like a stable coin pool. It's a little flexy, but that's basically what it is. It's like house money for a casino. And this is the exchange, the GMX, the top 2. Another exchange is GNS for people. What we're going to do is we're going to go Degen. We're going to push the thing to filter this and give us the highest APYs first, because eventually over here on Arbitrum, it actually kind of settles out and it doesn't become too bad after that long. I'd say around this 500% range actually. So we see PSI and ETH coming up right here. So this is the Poseidon token from Trident, which is like this whole new gaming network. So it's a narrative that's been running and it's kind of bullish on Arbitrum actually. And so I compare together the PSI token and Ethereum and get 610% APY. So it's over 1% a day. Same thing for this ARC token in USDC. And so again, over 1%. And that's what I'm going to look for. Like that's the I'm looking for during this little downward push that we do. Is I want to continue my bags or something, but then I'm going to slowly allow this to compound my bag. So I'll earn 1% a day, 30% in a month, and that 30% will be compounded into what I'm earning with. And so it'll probably be more than 30% by the end of the month, probably like 40% or something like that, because I'll be compounding back into it. So earning with more every day, larger and larger percentage. But I'll do that with different things that I'm interested in. So there's ARC USDC, PSI, WETH. Man, Satoshi, actually you were like, maybe we should put Alien in the portfolio. It went dumb. We would have been up like 100% on one of the picks. Pendle, WETH. Been a big talk of the town lately.
Kindle has been going crazy.
up over 25% or something like that in the last when I looked at it, over like last
We
week.
need to look at some of these. There's a lot of good dips out there probably right now.
Yeah, I mean, I started the DCA in yesterday. Actually, I started to put a little something in there. I was like, I don't want to miss everything, and so it hasn't. A lot of these alts didn't go down too much the last time I looked, but now they're dipping a little bit more. We'll see. But this is what I think is the move, and what I'm definitely going to go into. Saw a lot of success with this during the last bull run, being able to have a token that you're bullish in long term, and then you're also earning a daily yield on that token. So you can do all sorts of things with that daily yield. You could sell it and just buy up another token that you also want to DCA into, or you can just continue to compound your own position. Either way, it's kind of bueno. So I'll probably try to make some content around doing that and stuff too, because I don't see a lot of people talking about even like compounding your earnings and yield and stuff like that anymore. That is.
So, you remember? Did you check that? You remember earlier when I told you I had a surprise for you, Smurf?
Mm-hmm.
It looks like you did not. You went all day without discovering my surprise. So now I can show it to you. Let's see.
Oh,
my screen's being slow, but anyway, let me share my screen. So today we're launching a new DeFi Llama browser extension that enhances Etherscan with wallet tags, improves token pricing when browsing addresses, and protects you from scams.
Oh, I did see this.
You did see it. Well, good.
Yeah.
Well, I am going to try to test it out a little bit and see how it works.
Nice.
Looks fun. Looks interesting.
He is. I mean, I like anything DeFi Llama. The llamas are where it's at. I don't think they've launched the Llama NFTs yet. I don't believe. I wouldn't mind getting my hand on one if they are out there, and when they do launch. I've seen some of the artwork before, and I'm like, I hope not. I imagine they'll be too expensive though, because it's for like the Curve fans in the blockchain, which are like that's where all the money hangs out. Yeah, like, yep, we time the market right. Oh.
We always do, don't we? We always do.
No, we don't.
No, we don't. I call all the plays, but I don't make the right plays.
Exactly. I'm pretty sure this is it.
Time.
But
I get greedy every time.
I'm gonna hang on a little bit longer.
Yeah. I'll be like, nah, that's not enough money.
So
I can't sell.
Do that.
It's gonna go higher.
This is reasonable for what it could do to the downside.
Yeah, I learned that the kind of a hard way this last bull run. It's gonna go up more.
Yeah. All I hear is evil Kermit meme. It's just like, I think we should get out now. He's like, buy more.
That is me all time.
Yeah.
Evil Kermit.
Okay, so that's totally me today too with Ethereum, where I was like, oh man, I should sell this Ethereum, just make a little bit of money on the swing. Not that I feel like it's gonna go down to like when I look at leverage situations, it's like, yeah, you get liquidated right now. If you went long right now, you get liquidated on like 3%. If Ethereum like went down to like $1,100, and I'm like, that's a fairy tale. Really? Like 11? I don't know. It's going to take I feel like it's going to take a long time for Ethereum to get down to 1,100 right now. There's got to be some substantial forces, especially when we're looking at my favorite website, ultrasound.money. And we're looking at where Ethereum is going. This is the only reason why I held on to my Ethereum, because actually the price did dip from as I decided to like hold on to it from like 1,550 to 1,530 or something like that, and now it's 1,540. So felt a little bit, damn, had opportunity, but this is what got me. Man. This thing being so dang down here, where I'm like, yeah, but Ethereum is deflationary, and I was telling myself actually. I was like, yo, Smurf, if tomorrow Ethereum is still deflationary and it was like negative 49,000 or negative 48,000 or something like that. And I was like, if it reaches negative 50,000 Ethereum, you'll just hold your Ethereum and you cough it up, just give it is what it is, because it's just doing what it's supposed to do too much. It's actually deflationary. And it did it. It did it. So yeah, I'm eating that elf right now. I don't know how this is gonna play out in the long run, but that's kind of
Yo,
ridiculous, bro. When you
20,000
like,
ETH have been burned since I last looked at that number.
it's just it's dummy, bro. When you consider ETH would have been like, it looked worse than that. We can't even see how bad it looked on this thing, like when it was going straight up and crazy looking. Like that's not even on the chart anymore. It's just bent over so much. It's
Yeah,
wild.
that's crazy.
It's actually wild to consider. You go back to our early shows and like see how straight up this thing was, bro. Just like Ethereum being minted, like you can't control the supply. Like wow, it's crazy. That's bullish, y'all. I don't know. I can't keep saying it, but it made me have to hold that. I still have some dry powder, but yeah, I gotta take that. If it's an L, it's an L. And again, even on leverage right now, 1100 for Ethereum. I'm like, bro, like Bitcoin, then that makes me, if I was a Bitcoin trader, I'm like, Bitcoin can only go so much lower before I would want to get into a long then. Because like Ethereum under $1,000 is like crazy. And like that would happen on like 3x leverage. Like that would have to be like your liquidation. If Ethereum drops like $200 more, then you're looking at like a $700 liquidation for Ethereum or something like that. Like, what's the odds that that's gonna like? It starts to become like a it's not gonna happen type of odd, and like that makes them like then it's too bullish. Then it has to reverse. So it's like, how much more can it go down? Maybe 200 for Ethereum, maybe 200 for so Bitcoin, maybe $2,000-$3,000. It starts to go past that. I think I don't know. We can't get financial advice or anything like that. Like I'm like that's my speculation is like it's hard for it to go that low. Like in current, just how things have been. And then we also have, and I didn't clip this up for you guys, and I feel so bad. But then we also have some of the news we got from Jerome Powell speaking at some of these government. What do I want to call it? I want to call it like the House, like agency, government
Hearings, maybe.
Well, I'm like the body though. Like, what would you call the House as a body?
The House.
That's why I'm like I wouldn't call them an agency. I guess you would just call it the House. So like maybe just you don't have like any other the gaggle of representatives. Like, I don't know, man. Like that's what what do I call this group of people? Whatever.
They're kind of a circus, I guess you could say.
Yeah, they do all sorts of tricks. But yeah, Jerome Powell speaking at these different things, and I think like the FOMC meeting is tomorrow or something else is coming out this week.
Bro, this nigga's going on tour this week. Shit,
right like, though, he really is.
How much more pain? How much more pain can you cause, Jerome?
More like I just imagine pain. The Star Wars gif. It's more.
That's what it is. It hurts. It hurts my eyes to keep watching.
I am probably going to put it up on Trustless Degen social media, Money Match Gaming social media. There was a clip today from the House Financial Committee in Jerome Powell where he's answering questions. And there were a few people that really like grilled him for what they're talking about. So I'm going to try to give you guys some justice there. The one guy was like Lucan T or something. I can't. He had a crazy name, bro. But we're Americans. Everybody's got crazy names. So this guy's point was basically he basically made Jerome Powell that the Federal Reserve is running a debt, like a deficit. So he's like, okay, so basically you guys are underwater. He's like, well, like, and he like danced around it at first, and then he's like, so you agree that you guys are underwater? And he's like, yeah, okay, so yeah, we're not making any money. He's like, all right, cool. And then he like moves on to like this talk to China, and he's like, all right, a lot of people don't know this, but like China has like the biggest economy. And like I've been saying, like there was a reason why Trump was attacking China so harshly and stuff. I'm like, because he doesn't want them to become like this obvious dominant power, and like he's not saying it outright. He's like China for all these other reasons and stuff like that ahead of time. But that was very obvious, like right, guys. It was, so that's all coming into play now. But even at the time, it was like their economy is just big. You can't. It's kind of like the TikTok battle half the time. I'm like, it's probably more so like, yeah, sure, but we got flashlight light apps to do the exact same thing, and everybody's got their fucking flashlight apps. I'm pretty sure it's because we got this huge conglomerate company that's overshadowing what Facebook is doing. It's overshadowing Facebook and Instagram from this one app that's coming out of nowhere, and they're about to take all that advertising. And it's like when you have one of the biggest companies in that country start to lose revenue share globally, so that type of thing happening. But anyways, this guy said, I'm worried about China. And then he posed the question to Jerome Powell about basically, how is the United States or how is the Federal Reserve going to pay its bills? So he's like, we're not making any money. We're talking about doing this tightening and stuff like that in the United States dollar, but then we have to pay these bills. We have to pay these bills to China. Like, how are we paying these bills? And he's like, so you're just, what did he say to him? I feel like he said, like, you're just like printing money or something like that. And Jerome was like, he's like, no, we're not just, I think, or he called it like lending money or something. He's like, we're not lending money. And then he made him like admit to it being worse, where he was like, basically like, yeah, you just make money come out of nowhere so that you could pay these debts to China. And he basically was like, so you're going to make sure you pay these debts back to China though, right? And like Jerome's like, yeah, we're going to make sure we pay him back. And he's like, under like no circumstances or whatever, the blah, 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 blah. There's no stipulation. And he's like, yeah, so you just told me that you're basically just giving them a blank check. And it was quite the show at that point where I'm like, it just helped kind of feed the recent crypto narrative where people are like, it feels like the Chinese market and the Asian markets are like really moving a lot of these cryptos and stuff like that right now. And like, it's Chinese stocks. And then like hearing that discussion go back and forth really kind of like, for me at least, like brought that where I'm like, I've seen a lot of stats recently where people are like, yeah, the money's flooding in. Yeah, China's putting more money into its economy, similar to what we were doing like in 2021 and stuff, 2021. And like they're doing that like right now. And it's like, okay. And the Federal Reserve is basically not saying burr, but burr for the Chinese. Like nothing's going to stop us from going burr for China. People's Bank of China's going to get all their money. So it's like, yeah, so they're controlling the narrative. That's what that read to me. So I found that to be one of the most interesting parts of the entire financial committee this morning.
I would love to see that clip.
Stop. I could probably clip it up by the end of the day. It was pretty good.
Yeah, I'll definitely. It's got to be somewhere. I know somebody probably already clipped it.
I don't know. There was like, because it wasn't just him. There was like 3 other people that like kind of like went in, where I was like, "Yo, man, some of y'all okay? Some of y'all okay?" And then the rest of I don't know. There was also some people where I'm like, "Man, y'all some charlatans." Like honestly, I don't know how job you very like. Because like on occasion, Jerome would like serve somebody. Like it was like he was like, "Oh, you wanted to play tennis," and just like smack the question back in their face. And they would continue reading this stupid script, and the scripted responses, like, "Oh, well, I thought you would say that," and I'm like, "What are you saying, bro? What are you saying?" And it was good that it wasn't just me, that it's on YouTube. So then you have like an audience of other people that are just like, "Yeah, what are you saying right now? Did you listen to him? You didn't listen to him. Okay, this is who we put in charge." So yeah, it's really interesting when you actually listen to those things, where it can be very boring, I know, and a lot of it's really dry.
I got a quick call to
Some
deal
of them
with.
are really old, probably a bit, but yeah, found that to be interesting. Yeah, gang in general. What are your opinions on the China situation? I guess global economy wise, and then just like as far as this recent narrative of China moving markets potentially are kind of controlling this bull run potential.
You want to go first, Bullish? Yeah.
I think that the whole China injecting some liquidity. I think it was like last week they did a big liquidity injection. I think a lot of people are trying to like grab onto that and say that they're buying Bitcoin or whatever they're doing, but I don't think we know exactly what they're doing with that money. I think that they need that. They probably needed a liquidity injection in China with a lot of their their economies opening back up, and they're going off of their COVID restrictions, and their housing market was not doing good. So I'm not sure if that money's going if it's really coming over to crypto, or if it's going to the stock market or whatever. But as far as us owing China money, like I know we owe them a lot of money. So I mean, I don't know what their plan is on getting that money, collecting it. But I think a lot of the macro China stuff, like them with the microchips and everything, and them not being able to really produce them the way they were because of that sanction that we put on one of them a while ago. I'm just not sure exactly. I'm not exactly sure where China's place is. Besides, trying to play catch up and get their market back to where it was before COVID.
I'd probably say, like, I think it's too much in the air. Some of the things that I've listened to talks about how, like, a bunch of markets are in extreme flux at the moment, and nobody really knows how those chips are going to land. And China's one of those kind of, places that it's really hard to get a real clean, this is what's going on in their market, this is what they plan to do, and this is how they're going to move. I've also heard that they have, like, a bunch of raw material issues, as far as, like, things like food and so on and so forth. So the war in Crimea or Ukraine and Russia kind of affects that. And so and then I've also heard talk about them kind of doing their own alliance and creating, like, an opposition to, like, let's say the dollar, and kind of creating their own kind of way of trade, kind of like what Russia did when they made their oil only viable through their currency, rubles and such. And so it just kind of depends on how some of those things play out and how restrictive our kind of globalization is going to keep them from kind of running with the ball in whatever direction that they want to. And so just because that's so complicated, for me personally, I'm kind of just, let's wait and see, because right now I don't think it's clear enough for us to be like, okay, these are the leaders. And I would still say that we're probably still the head honcho, but, like, if there's, like, some, I hate using these words, but if there's, like, like the axis, the West powers versus the East powers and stuff, and then each starts building their own economic bloc, I think the world becomes a really weird place. But until that, like, materializes, I would say we're still in the lead, but who knows where that lands.
I agree with that. It's hard to tell, especially with China, because they don't want to even tell people anything.
You never know, man. You just don't. You just never know.
Banning cryptos since 2013 every year.
Yes, sir. every year.
They
Well,
definitely
two things are guaranteed on the international stage. North Korea will make a threat, and China will ban crypto. Every year. What else do we have here for you? Speaking of banning crypto, this is, like, actually kind of a perfect thing right here. I had this article from the IMF, regarding the IMF. It's not from the IMF, but it does have a quote from the IMF. It says IMF would prefer to regulate crypto than banning it outright. And so as we go through this, that's pretty much, they give it away at the very top. You get the whole movie in the trailer in the situation. We are very much in favor of regulating the world of digital money. This is, I forgot who it is from the IMF who was saying this. But yeah, that was basically what this is about. Whereas they're just maybe not as bearish on crypto as a whole as some would imagine. I still think that it's in an effort to get more control and do this whole, like, CBDC type thing and all that. But yeah, interesting regardless. Where I don't know, kind of leave some weight to that whole, blockchain is here to stay type of argument, and like, especially in current light where we have this whole Silvergate issue and stuff with the banks. So, yeah. Take this one off. Next topic I wanted to kind of go to with you guys is go around the room. Has anybody heard about Base Protocol?
I have not.
No from one.
Yeah, not from your
I
resident normie.
No from Normie, and then
I definitely heard about base. So yeah,
Mr.
I'm
Confidence.
familiar. I'm familiar.
Get familiar, says Mike
Wow,
Posner.
now I feel like a normie.
Dang. All right, Satoshi, lay it on us. What's base all about?
Base is Coinbase's hedge. I'm gonna say base is their hedge to their centralized blockchain solutions. So they're making a I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. A EVM compatible layer 2 built on top of Arbitrum.
I believe it's optimism.
Wow.
Or sorry, optimism. That is what I meant to say. I'm sorry. I've been doing too much on Arbitrum lately, but
They're both optimistic. It's confusing.
On optimism, which is confusing, and so they have a lot of partners that they've partnered with to get started on that. They're wanting to onboard the next billion people into DeFi, which I think is a very very steep challenge that they're taking on. I hope it works out. I will be trying to make some plays if I can over there. But I'm not sure how it's going to compete. Hopefully, it doesn't turn out like their NFT venture.
Funny thing about this article, right? So this is like one of those things where, like, if you didn't read in crypto, you're just preparing yourself to get rug pulled and whatever over and over and over again. So the funny thing about this article, right, is it's talking about Base and says Base surges over 100% after Coinbase launches its L2 network. And so what's the thought here, right? Coinbase launches this L2 network. Satoshi's saying it's being done on optimism. They have the Base token for the network, right? And that Base token is up over 100% since it launched, right? It's on optimism. So the token that they're using for gas fees and stuff like that is going to be Ethereum. And so what the heck is Base? Base is some random token. And they say this in this article. Base is some random token that people just like, this is what people do. Like, like people are like, oh, Elon Musk's dog threw up on the carpet last night and the paparazzi got a photo. And then there's an Elon Musk dog throw up token the next day. That's exactly what happened here. There was a Base token, or like Vitalik says he's like, what about there was the token? And then people were like, that would be a good token name. And they jokingly make a the token, or he said X token one day, and people made X token. These tokens still exist today, guys. So this happened with this Base token, and it surged and did its whole up and down thing. But yeah, Coinbase had already announced, like, part of the announcement was that they were like, yeah, there's not going to be a Base token. And so for crypto to be like, pump it.
That's fucking hilarious.
Like, people were, this is part of the reason why people are doing it. They're questioning people. It's like, people were like, well, I don't know. Like, yeah, they said there's not going to be a token, but maybe there will be a token. I'm just like, dude, this is.
I got a few dollars. Why not?
Yeah, the market is crazy, bro. And that's like where, like, you'll see it on crypto Twitter sometimes, man, and it like kill me. Where like somebody just doesn't agree with the narrative, right? They're just like, nah, man, that's like not for me or whatever. And people are just like, you'll see at least one comment just like, yeah, not gonna make it. It's just like, it's for stuff like this where it's like sometimes you're like it's like those billionaires that you see, like, or something like that, like arguing against like crypto, like really avidly sometimes, and like they had all that insider, like, not like maybe they had a homie like being like, yo, John, like, put $1,000 into crypto, like it's like nothing to them. They're like, yeah, I just throw this stuff out. It's like cashews. And they just refuse to do it. And it's like I see like with I think like the Peter Schiff argument that he has like with Anthony Pompliano sometimes. And Pomp is like, Peter, if you'd have thrown like $1,000 into Bitcoin or whatever, like at the time that you heard about Bitcoin from how early you were, it would be like, like whatever portion of like your entire net worth. Like it's like an insane amount of money. Like, how would you not want to increase your net worth? Like, well, why would you not want that? And he's like, oh, well, I don't believe in it. I don't. And it's just like, Like, nah, Peter, you got other investments that you don't believe in. You're like, yeah, but it'll work out for this year for me to get 5% or something. Like, you gotta get off that at some point. At some point, it's just like I get it. There's different risk profiles for everybody. But yeah, that's just part of like the crypto Twitter. You're not gonna make a thing. Is like, yeah, everybody has different risk profiles, but how many people do you have to see like successfully make that happen? And you have all the opportunity in the world to do that, and you just don't take it. Or like, AKA, you're right there on crypto Twitter. People are telling you the narrative. You're watching it happen in real time. The big publishers haven't even gotten to it. It's not been covered on Yahoo and CNN or anywhere else yet. And you're just like, nah, it's not really for me. All right, not gonna make it. Not gonna make it. Yes, well, it's not everybody. It can't be all of us. But yeah, it's one of those moments. In general, my opinions on Coinbase base protocol, just pop it up earlier. That's what it looks like. No, we don't know. I don't know. Maybe they have some type of logo for it. But my opinion on it personally, I think it's bullish for crypto. Here's why I think it's bullish. I actually need to make a thread about this. For crypto in general, I think I am working on a thread for it. Reason one, it's by Coinbase. Yeah, Coinbase, Brian Armstrong. Woo. People like Coinbase. There's a big sector of people, like the normies, like Coinbase. The chances are, if you know a normie that has been convinced at any point in their life to buy some crypto, they have it on one of two places. They either have it on Robinhood because they're a degenerate normie, or
because I hate them,
or they have it on Coinbase.
If you have it on Robinhood, you have problems.
Exactly, right? What are you doing over there? You got it on. It's on Coinbase. You got it on Coinbase, right? And so they just have their stuff there on Coinbase, and they haven't moved it off of Coinbase because they don't understand or they don't trust the whole wallets. Yeah, they either don't understand how to do it, or they just don't trust the wallets and things like that. They don't want to take that self-custody into their own hands. Like, oh, I'm going to lose it. I'm going to get scammed or whatever. Like any of the possibility things like that everybody else just sucks up with every day. The same way that you suck it up when you get in a car, the most dangerous thing in the world. Like every day. Like, you suck it up. I'm going to do this thing. This is what has to be done for me to make this money. That's what you do, literally. And so that's the exact same thing happens there. So that's the other reason why. So it's Coinbase. All the money is hanging out there. And since it's Coinbase, very similarly to how they can like have you buy NFTs on Coinbase, you can get a free NFT for Base, I think, launching like right now. That's probably a good idea because similar to the RB Punk that was $1, probably just minting this NFT. You need a little bit of Ethereum in your wallet to mint this NFT, which leads to my next thing. But they'll mint that NFT for you. And then, I mean, like I got NFTs on PancakeSwap that are like worth $10 to $15 that I like did nothing for, but somebody will buy it. Like, so, why not just take the opportunities? Not gonna make it, don't do that. Like, just take the money. If you don't believe in it, just take the money. Like Peter, just take the money. The hell, you don't have to believe in it. So it's Coinbase, and the same way they have that interaction go through for with the wallet, though, they take that. If you have some Ethereum in your wallet, they'll basically work for you on chain. And they'll make that transaction on Polygon or whatever, and they'll send it back to you in their custodial wallet for you, unless you have the Coinbase Pro wallet. But they make it a really seamless transaction for you, is what I'm getting at. They hold your hand through the process. And now a lot of people, kind of like let's say like Satoshi, just like quick answers. Like let's say you're teaching somebody how to get in the blockchain, right? You're teaching the homie, and you're like, yeah, download the MetaMask wallet. And then connect to this website because they got to like mint the NFT somewhere or whatever, right? And that's what you're trying to get them to do. And they're like, oh, I can't connect to the website. You're like, why not? They're like, I downloaded the Coinbase Pro wallet. You didn't tell him that. Like, does it? I don't know if you've ever had this experience. That's really what I want. I'm like, have you ever had this painful experience? Yeah, it happens.
Yeah.
Okay, so I just wanted to make sure it happens with other people. This is what we go through when we're trying to onboard people. You're like, you came to me to teach you how to do it. In the moment we started, step one, getting off Coinbase, and you did it your own way. You could have just did this without me. But that's how people act, right? They're just like, well, the Coinbase made it simple, and I know Coinbase. I'm familiar with Coinbase, and so people are going to be that exact same way with the base network. This new layer 2 solution. And be like, yeah, I know Coinbase, and it works with my Coinbase Pro wallet. They made it super easy for it to work, and all of a sudden, all these people can on ramp into actual blockchain technology onto these actual platforms and stuff like that because they made that transition so easy. And from there, like if you're on, like we all know this because we're on Binance Smart Chain and Phantom and wherever else, but once you're on one of these chains, it's not very hard to move to other chains. You got to push like 2 buttons. You understand the interface of like one like DEX, and that's all the DEXs. Like you understand DEXs now. You understand one bridge. You understand bridges now. You know how to move from chain to chain. But like once those people do that, then all this money all of a sudden has a really easy way to onboard onto Ethereum, quite honestly. And what did we see about Ethereum when gas fees are high on Ethereum, when Ethereum is getting a lot of use? We saw this. This is what we saw when Ethereum's getting a lot of use, Ethereum looks like this, and it gets that much sharper. This is all because Ethereum is being used. And this is why the scaling solution of Ethereum was to make a proof of stake and stuff like that. Because when we scroll down this, just to show you guys real quickly, I don't want to go too long without getting some opinions, stuff like that from you guys. But they'll show you what's burning the most, right? So Blur, NFT marketplace, suck it, OpenSea, Uniswap, ETH transactions, so just people swapping from like wallets and stuff like that. Smart contracts, MetaMask, or is it Arbitrum? This is what I wanted to go to. Arbitrum inbox
wonderful.
sequencer. And so like there's Arbitrum, there's gonna be Optimism. If Coinbase puts all this money onto the blockchain that's just currently sitting in Coinbase wallets and stuff like that idle, and people are like, especially like as they're closing down all these staking options on these exchanges and stuff like that, you can get a higher APY by doing it at the actual project or whatever, doing it on chain yourself. Like, so Coinbase makes it easier for people to actually get to that step. It's all of a sudden super simple. And what does this mean with that high volume of money? It also means that more Ethereum is going to be burned. Like you're on the cheap L2, but that means more Ethereum on L1 is going to be burned. And so it gets worse, like at least in terms of like burning Ethereum, it gets steeper and gets bigger and bigger as more comes on. And you're not really dealing with it until it gets out of control on L1. It gets way out of control before it affects you. Yeah, it gets so out of control before it ever affects you.
I would have never expected this. And like you're all the way you talk about it, it's like an onion of burning. It's layered.
Yeah, it's about to get wild. Like I'm like, bro, we're not even
the burning onion
yet. needs to that needs to be a show that comes. That needs to be a crypto podcast.
That's a good one. The burning onion.
Maybe we have that as a segment.
Someone meant that.
Needs to be made. But that's what I see for this.
Trustless Degens. The burning onion.
I'll see what I can do. I've never made an onion in 3D. But yeah, that's what I'm seeing. That's my take on Base. That's why I'm bullish on Base. It's the onboarding catalyst that we've all been looking for from the company that's most trusted, with the most assets just sitting there idly in crypto that could be actually on board. Like all that money from Coinbase went into DeFi right now. Good God, there's a lot of money. And again, since it's on L2s of Ethereum, it's a lot of Ethereum burning on the main layer. So you just get richer if you're holding Ethereum, and it's not really affecting you for a long, long time. A long, long time. Sexy. Yeah, that's Base. I guess I'll bridge over to Base eventually. I guess I got to check it out.
It's not live yet, is it?
I don't know. I got this Canto on my list. There's too many things to do right now if you're in crypto. That's why I'm like, I hear you guys.
We need to start looking at ZK Snarks, or what is it, ZK Snake? ZK
oh yeah,
Snake.
you got to do all the. I got to make sure I do all the testnet shit. Like I'm doing all the testnet stuff, bro. It's like if there's an airdrop, I'm catching it. Not getting left on any more of these airdrops, bro. These.
I don't think
they're giving away all this money.
Done anything yet for ZK? We definitely need to do
I caught was
that.
Doge Chain. They doubled the money I sent. Like I'm happy they gave me double the money. Like they were like, congratulations, you were here, boom, double your money. And I'm like, this is crypto is wild, y'all. No, they just be giving out money. I don't think people understand. Oh
It's
my
the
God.
best ever.
It's
Bro, let me tell you. So I have an airdrop in one of my wallets, but I can't figure out where it's from. So, and then you have these fucking websites that are like supposed to tell you like where you're like what airdrops you have, but when you put your wallet in there, it's like, oh, you got an airdrop, but you got to pay us. You got to pay us $8 a month for a year to get your airdrop. I'm like, God damn it! Like it hurts me. It says it's worth $2,000, so it's really trying to get me to pay for that subscription.
I don't know.
But
You know
I'm
what that
like,
sounds like?
man,
That sounds like
I
the same
don't.
student loan scam I paid for. You know, they got me.
So,
They got
and
me for the
so,
first half.
and now I'm looking at it, and it's only worth $1,700 now. So it's just like going away and away and away, and it's kind of weird,
So
you know.
you think it's a legit airdrop?
I think it's a Ponzi, is what I think. And I think if I
See-
ever see what this money is, I'm gonna sell so fast. I don't know what it is. I don't know how I got it.
So you can't. I'll say it to folks too. You can't just trust like any. If you just get random airdrop, because it was like something about like a new like phishing scam or whatever. They were calling it. This is the thing. They were calling it was surfacing like the last weeks or so. People were like, "Oh, it's a new crypto phishing scam where they'll send you an airdrop of like tokens or an NFT or whatever. When you interact with it or you like approve the token, then it can like drain your stuff or whatever the hell." And I'm like, "That's not new. That's like literally like 2-3 years old at this point, like legit, like and like." But then like it hit me when I was like reading it. I was like, "That's not new though," and like so I was just like brushing it. And I'm like, "That's how early you be, bro." You be that early where it's like because they weren't the only people saying it. A lot of people were saying this. I'm like, nah. I don't know how many times I've been sent like tokens that are like, yeah, you got $500,000. I'm like, I ain't got no damn $500,000. Like, I'm not touching that. Like,
The
so,
amount
like,
of
I was just like, go to
millions
the.
I had, the millions of dollars I had in my wallet during that last bull run. Holy crap! It felt good.
You gotta, yeah, you know, yeah, debank thought for a little bit, but you check it sometimes, and it's just like you want to do is plug that into like either Etherscan or whatever the scan is, or a Dex screener or something like that. Start looking at the and like look at the transactions. If you just got given a bunch of money, do your own due diligence. Don't just approve smart contracts and give it access to unlimited amount of swapping between USDC or something. Don't do that. Um, Plug it in, see how transactions have been going. Most of the time, you're going to see something kind of weird, like, yeah, there's a lot of buys, but they're all happening from one or two addresses. One or two addresses have made up $500,000 worth of, volume out of, $700,000 worth of volume. That means that somebody either got lucky in crypto before you, or they're just a wealthy scammer and they're scamming you. It's called a honeypot. Run. Like just letting you know, putting you on game because like I saw that stuff like recently and they were like, yeah, it's a new thing. I'm like, that is not new. That's honeypots. No, again. But yeah, crypto is it's like anything else. It's like learning how to walk around a city, New York, Chicago, in any environment. Like don't look like a mark. don't look like I dropped that out of my pocket again. Let me bend over, take my time looking at the cement. Like no, that's how you get popped. So yeah, don't get popped. Putting you on some game today. Speaking of not getting popped, it's time to move on to the segment that I wanted to get last week, but we didn't get to. It's time to get pooped. Yeah. Poop emoji on Bitcoin Ordinal. And this is kind of like also in tangent to this whole like not gonna make it thing that we've been talking about most recently, where it's like sometimes you just gotta ride the wave. We were talking about ordinals before, and guess what? If a project is opening, if an ordinal project is opening, I similar to this Arbitrum thing where I just have to buy, I had to buy one because I'm like, it's probably gonna pop. I'm up 15, X or whatever, it's $1 to $15. It popped. Similar thing over here happening with these Bitcoin ordinals, and guess what? It's bigger money. If it's dealing with Bitcoin, even though you bought it for $5, it's bigger money. Bitcoin gonna do dumb stuff. Bitcoin people are gonna do dumb stuff. The market's just moving that way. Sometimes you just like, and other people know too. They're not stupid. They're not that stupid. There might be like 10 people that are that stupid, and they learned from their mistake this one time around. But anyways, poop emoji on Bitcoin Ordinal sells for $28,000. Wash trading or legit is what this article then brings up, mentioning that a large portion of NFT trading actually seems to be wash trading. And again, this is to my point. Like, if people aren't stupid when they do this type of stuff, like they know what they're getting into. If you caught them on one side of the trade, chances are they knew what the hell they were getting into. But that's part of the poop today. I'm gonna keep it rolling to the poop. The next poopy thing is winning Dookie Dash. Yes, right. It's called Dookie Dash. It's a blockchain game from, I believe this is Yuga Labs too, right? That's like the Bored Ape people.
Yep.
It's. Should I do that? I'm like, I feel like I've just read too many Reddit forums on Bored Apes founders. Let me keep going with this Dookie story. Dookie Dash, it's a game that launched with its sewer pass. And they have these keys within there. So you do well in the game, you get these keys. This key sold for $1.6 million from playing this game. Crazy.
Holy
doodle.
crap.
The 1-of-1 golden key was earned by receiving the highest score on the skill-based non-fungible token game Dookie Dash, which was released by Bored Ape Yacht Club parent company Yuga Labs last month. According to the company, Dookie Dash pass holders can use their pass to summon their power source on March 8th. It's March 8th. I wonder if they summoned anything. Somebody bought this thing for $1.6 million. I wonder if they summoned anything. I don't know. You buy something for that much and it's internet, maybe you're just like, you never summon anything. You don't open the package. And summoning would be opening in the pack. I don't know. I don't have that type of money.
I wouldn't open it. I'd sell it to the next guy.
Toshi's in the group. Would you open or sell, Mr. Fiend?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
You just got the highest score ever in Dookie Dash. The golden key is yours. Do you know it's worth $1.6 million? You know it. Do you use it and open up the thing, summon your creature thing, or whatever the hell you're summoning, or do you sell it? Wait. Or do you just hold it? I guess we're going with 3. Or do you just hold that boy? And you're keeping it pristine.
1.6 million. It's sold. I'm done. I'm done. Look, it's Dookie Dash, bro.
Hold your Dookie.
Like, I still got my Doge. I still got my ETH. It's just Dookie Dash. I'll take the 1.6 million and take like 600,000 and like diversify into my Dookie coins and create my own little Dookie Dash. create my own little Dookie Dash.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Again,
I'd also buy a house and a new car. And, yeah, fuck that.
Be successful from the Dookie. I feel it. That's probably me too. I probably have to sell that Dookie key. I want to say, nothing else about Yuga Labs and the Bored Ape creators. Again, the Ape Yacht Club got a lot of hate from crypto community and outsiders. And the one thing that I can say about it, for sure, is that they did an amazing job with the marketing and stuff like that, and like brand. Like, you can't say otherwise. It's one of the biggest growing brands in like the last, like there's Lululemon and there's Bored Ape Yacht Club. I'll fight you. It's those two. Pretty sure that's it. Let me see. What do we have? Twitter coin. Speaking of coins, Twitter. This is just a brief catch up here. Oops. People are speculating on a potential Twitter coin. Twitter coins become available to particular users. There's an image in here somewhere. This would look like it was showing me in dark mode. They have it whatever. I'm like, it was showing me in dark mode before. Now it's light mode. But it's basically tip coins or whatever. And so people are like, Elon said all this stuff about crypto and crypto payments. These are more so like maybe you would be using crypto and cash payments to just send some arbitrary points to people right now. That's what this is. But people are speculating, maybe this turns into a full Twitter crypto coin situation. What do you guys think?
I think he could. I don't think he'd do it right now. Right now, I think he's still trying to fix all the different things on Twitter. So I can't imagine him diving into that right now. But maybe, if he finds another CEO. Did he find one? Does anybody know? I don't think he did, right? I don't think I saw anything.
I don't know. Not that I know
I don't
of.
think so.
Not that I know of.
Yeah. So right now, I think he's probably got his hands full doing all the other stuff.
Yeah.
But it could. I think it's very possible. Just not now.
Any opinions from the rest of you, Gaggle?
Nope.
There's not enough of you to be a Gaggle.
I don't know what Elon plans to do, but I'm not gonna sit here and watch his fucking Twitter all day and wait.
I'm still mad he convinced
Twitter
so many
coin,
people to
bro.
buy Dogecoin last market.
The thing is, he didn't even convince. He didn't even convince them. People are just like, people just be
He didn't need to
guessing
say
for no
anything.
reason.
Yeah,
They just be grasping at straws, bro. Like it's not Elon's fault.
Well,
He
and
can't
I
stop.
mean, like, I guess something like part of it is being like, yeah, I'm looking because it's like the CEO of Doge or whatever, and it's like, okay, but why Dogecoin? Like, why are you supporting Doge? Like, I mean, well, he likes to be troll and stuff, and so in that
Because
case, it's a fun buy.
he wanted to troll people, and he made some money doing it probably.
But I'm like, you could have.
Just like
It wouldn't have been as bad if Doge Chain existed at the time and there was like a use for Dogecoin. I wouldn't have felt so bad about it in that case. But we were like in the midst of like DeFi summer and all this other crazy stuff and NFTs being used and all like, at least like first hitting the scene, all this other stuff's happening. And Dogecoin people are like, yeah, you can mine Dogecoins. It's like, yeah, welcome to 2030, 13. Like it's 2020. Like, it was like showing an older person like Coinbase or some crypto app like, yeah, get some cryptos, and they're like, I think I'll have some of this Litecoin. It's yeah, you can get Litecoin. Like it's like, yeah, you can get Dogecoin. You can get it, but it's not really what the move is right now. I'm trying to show you some Ethereum or something. I'm trying to get you, man, I thought we were going out tonight. Whatever. That's how it feels, man. Fun stat I'm just going to read here is from DAP Radar, which we show DAP Radar sometimes here on the show. It's giving a view of transactions on the blockchain and different DApps. It says gamers made up nearly half of all blockchain activity in January. It's kind of sexy. My guess is, a lot of that activity stayed to where it typically is happening, which is on chains like Wax. Actually, here, I'll show it really quickly. That was my guess, right? My guess was Wax. Let's see. Let's say, well, before I show this, let's get some guesses out there. Where is the most from our host here? We're gonna start with the resident normie.
I don't know.
So you don't get the flip. No, it's okay. It's okay. You're gonna have to guess 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 potential blockchains. It's gonna be fun to see if you come up with these tokens. 5 blockchains were the top 5 blockchains for gamers in January, where all these transactions were coming from. Normie, hit us with it.
I don't. Yeah, I don't know.
Come on, you gotta. It's like riding a bike. You gotta. What are some blockchains you know?
Let's go with Binance.
Or what you hear us talking about. So Binance, we got one.
Yeah, let's do that.
Come on, you hear us talk about more than Binance.
Yeah, no, I
know. This is your challenge.
I'm gonna guess Binance. There you go. There we go. You got
go to CoinGecko.
It's a top 5.
And look at a list and just name 5.
Yeah, this is your challenge. Come on, you're getting educated with this. We're learning during the show too.
Re-ask the question.
All right. So, what top 5 blockchains do you think the most transactions happened on in January for gamers? Like, what blockchains were gamers doing these transactions on? Top 5. This was the Infinite in high school taking those bubble scantrons, y'all.
No, I would have just. I would have just. I would have just. I just scribble it in if that's that point. I just don't want to look stupid, but
you're not. There's a lot of chains. We know. Just, but at the same time, it's kind of like this is why I want to push it too, because it's like I feel like you probably have the answer to some of these, right? I feel like when you're around a person or a conversation so much, some of the things start to sit in with you. It's like kind of like those scantrons where you know the answer in the back of your head. And you're like, if I just say these things, is that actually it? And it's like, yep, those things that you probably know are actually it. So we're pushing it.
Let's go with Polygon, Polkadot.
So we got Binance,
Uniswap.
Polkadot, Polygon. Uniswap is an exchange.
It's an exchange, okay.
We got Polygon, Polkadot, and Binance Smart Chain. You got two more.
Even though I know it probably didn't because it's so expensive. Ethereum.
You're up next, Bitfiend.
Let's out of all these other ones,
Polygon, Polkadot, Binance Smart Chain, Ethereum, and
I'm trying. I'm
scanning. Mana, Decentraland.
No, it's got to be a blockchain.
It's got to be a blockchain.
Yeah, blockchain transactions.
Hive
the
top blockchain, 5, baby.
You gotta wait your turn, Bitfiend.
Yeah.
He's trying to come up with his fifth.
Yeah. The last one, Aave.
No, Aave's a
it's another exchange. Okay.
Did he already say Ethereum?
He did say Ethereum.
Yeah, I did say Ethereum. Okay. This last one though, I'm looking at him. I'm like, no.
Come on. You could
Tron, please. Yeah, Tron.
I was like,
but I don't think it's Tron though. It's like I'm actually kind of familiar, so it's like, but let's go with Tron just because just
can't think of any others.
Yeah. I'm scanning through it, and I'm like,
you sure?
None of
can't
this
think
stuff.
of any others, huh?
I mean, you mentioned Wax, but that feels like a sellout.
Okay.
And so I was trying to choose other stuff.
All right, so we got.
So let's go with Tron. Let's just go with
Tron, Binance Smart Chain, Polygon, Polkadot, and Ethereum for the Infinite. Bitfiend, what you thinking? Where are the most transactions happening for gamers in January? What up, Fighter IQ?
Am I guessing here?
Yeah, guessing the top 5 blockchains where transactions were happening for gamers in January. So we're going Wax,
Hive,
Polygon,
Ethereum has to be on that list.
Put Ethereum on it. What's your fifth?
And BNB.
And BNB. All right. Wax, Hive, Polygon, Ethereum, and BNB from Bitfiend. Bullet Satoshi, what do you got?
I have AVAX, Polygon, Wax, Flow, and Immutable.
AVAX, Polygon, Wax, Flow, and Immutable. Okay. AVAX, Polygon, Max, Flow. You had some you had some I'm a degen, bitch. What's up? Yeah, you ain't over here yet type of blockchains. I hear you. I see you. Infinite had, again, it was Binance, Polygon, Polkadot, Ethereum, and Tron. The answer is creepy, guys.
Stupid shit.
This is creepy. Bitfiend pretty much won this.
Yes.
Saying everything in order. Other than EOS.
What?
I
know my shit.
In order.
I know my shit. I wasn't sure about ETH, but I would have never thought EOS. I would have never thought EOS. I knew Wax and Hive for sure. Polygon and BNB. I can't believe ETH is not on there.
Yeah. That was wild though. I was like, this man is cheating. He is down here listing every single one in order. Like, wow. But yeah, I mean, that would make sense. That's why I was like, I was like, oh, come on, Infinite. It's all the ones that, quite honestly, it's the ones that Money Magic Gaming typically gravitates toward as gamers and being like, yeah, we're trying to push gaming forward. We started with Hive. We moved over to Wax because we saw the potential in Wax. We're looking at moving back. We just didn't want to paying attention to Polygon the entire time and stuff like that. But it's more. Everybody knows Polygon's more centralized, and these other ones aren't. So that while having our field day on Binance Smart Chain, but it's all the places we kind of push to for gaming. So it made sense. It's like, yeah, if you pay attention to where Money Match Gaming is doing anything, there they go. The only one not on here is like Tron. But yeah, everything that we currently utilize and stuff. So pretty crazy in that sense. And again, hats off to Bitfiend for being such a marksman. Goodness.
I did not. I just surprised myself with that shit. What?
That was pretty crazy. Want to move into some token talk. Before I go into that one, that just sounds crazy. Satoshi sent this one up here, and I'm gonna pause on that one for a second.
That was
so some token talk for us. Token talk. Former NBA player Baron Davis, Mr. Charlotte Hornets himself, says celebs will focus more on utility tokens. Who cares? Because celebs have to evolve too. Stop. Look, celebs will focus more on utility tokens going forward. So not just like and that's everybody in general. It's just kind of like, to me, it's saying that like the market's maturing in that sense. Previously, like it's kind of like when people like, it's what upset everybody with the NFTs. I'll use it as NFTs for a quick example. People outside of the market were like, it's stupid. It's just pictures. And like people in the market were like, yeah, you can totally just flip just pictures because the market is so dang red hot right now. It's like you could walk outside of your house, grab a handful of dirt and be like, yo, my dirt is different than yours. And people were buying it. And you were just like, you know what? I ain't touching none of my dirt. Like, okay, well, you don't touch your dirt then. Stay broke. But at the other side, there's people that were like, I'll participate in the market. I'll at least learn stuff about this. And they got their hands dirty and they learn more about like the utility of NFTs as a whole. And so they like maybe learn things that, yeah, NFT could actually, this dirt could be used for a game. It can be used for this. It can be used for that. And so now it's becoming more than dirt. I use dirt as an example because it's just like something that was like, it's like when bottled water became a thing. I know damn well your parents was at first like, you ain't paying for no dang water. But then people see the benefits later on. We're having a similar situation happen here. So NFTs and crypto and stuff like that were promoted by these celebrities to bring it back home to you guys. Was initially, it's like if it's a meme token or whatever, they were just a part of it. They were just like, yeah, and they have no education. They're just out there selling like the most dry dirt. We can't even form a mud castle with that, right? Put some water in it though. And now they're learning how to put some water in that dirt. And we got mud castles building up everywhere. It's still not the best. You're not gonna get the best Adobe house from one of these celebrities. I would not put my money into that. Matt Damon doing crypto.com commercials does not mean that crypto.com is a top exchange. We just talked about Coinbase and Base, but it is what it is. But they're evolving, and I think that's the big takeaway here. Anything from you with this? Because I think you're the one that initially shared this, Satoshi. Maybe I shared it initially. I
don't think I did. I just think it's interesting that celebrities are trying to get smarter, especially athletes. I think athletes, don't want to give people bad advice like fucking Steph Curry out here and Shaq promoting FTX, and Tom Brady and, so hopefully
the list goes on.
They do a little more research.
And Miley Cyrus.
And
no, I'm just kidding.
They slap some utilities on some of their NFTs.
Jojo Siwa.
Sorry. I think a lot of, especially a lot of NBA players gravitate towards crypto, and I've heard a lot of them that have invested, like Kevin Durant and Andre Iguodala does some crypto blockchain stuff. Baron Davis does a lot of crypto. I know he does some NFT stuff. Des Bryant. There's a lot of athletes that are in the space. Hopefully, Gary doesn't go after them like he went after Kim for promoting EtherMax.
First, she got to deal with Kanye, and now she got to deal with Gary.
Fucking Fucking
When will
Gary,
life get
man.
back to normal? Yeah. Any opinions from the other gaggle? Yeah.
I mean,
You don't have to. You don't have to.
No, actually, there's like a small opinion in the sense that it's like, it's good to go. Okay, we're not gonna purely think about pumping and dumping. All right, we're actually gonna take a look under the hood. Maybe not the whole hood, like you're kind of describing, to where it's like we're really gonna know what's going on. But at the very
It's still a
least,
mud castle.
we might pop the hood, and that's more than not popping the hood. And somebody saying you can make $1 trillion off this. Okay, here's my little bit of here's a few of my tokens. Where's my $1 trillion? So
Give it to me. All right, nice. No, saving that one because I don't even know what you meant by that. Bit of fun crypto newseth before we move on to things. Something else that's not mentioned here. I'll mention this in tandem with this article here. Make sure it's on screen. This Frax one. So if you don't know, Frax runs a stable coin. They are a lot of things. I'm like, they're a lending and borrowing marketplace. They're an exchange. They're a really big project in cryptocurrency. If you've actually never heard of Frax, I think like one day on the Trustless Degens Twitter account, I was like, I should make a thread about Frax because I feel like a lot of people don't know what Frax is. Like, do you guys know what Frax is? Other than me like saying that right there.
Isn't it like
man,
some type of
I know
LSD?
freaking
It's like
Frax,
LSD,
but I
isn't
don't
it?
know Frax.
Freaking Frax, but not Frax.
Is it an LSD?
It does have some. That's one like Frax is a lot of things. So they do have like an LSD thing going on. They just keep building out their ecosystem. It's a big project, and it all started off with like this their stable coin and stuff. Frax. So here, let me before I go back over this article, let me see if there's anything else I want to get out of there. I don't think I'll have to go down too far on this. I feel like it's in top 50 or something like that.
you passed it.
Oh, you saw Frax? You saw it? There
Right
it is.
there.
Yeah, top 40. I said top 50. Frax right there. It's a stable coin. Wow, people don't even know about this. What? Why is there a stable coin called Frax? Fractional reserve. That's what it's supposed to stand for. So this is Frax. It's the stable coin. They have their own share token, FXS, the Frax shares. And there's a whole bunch of different things in the Frax ecosystem. So we're not going to jump into it right now. That's why I was like, we could do a whole thread on Frax. But Frax shift to a fully backed stable coin signals the end of DeFi's algorithmic experiment. So they're just saying, yeah, people were pretty much done with this whole algorithmic stable coin thing. We've known that though. If you survived last year, you knew that. Frax was mostly backed by different stable coins and Ethereum. But there was like a portion of it that was like doing whatever weird stuff. And so, yeah, they already proposed this like a while ago, but I guess now it's all the way back. Decentralized stablecoin accounts for 5.5% of the total. This is just more backup on that stuff. I just gave you what you needed to know about this portion of Frax. So, yeah, thought that was some important news. Other than this, with stablecoin news, Liquidity stablecoin, which is seen as one of the most decentralized stablecoin assets. I'd say Frax is in there, and then I'd say Liquidity is in there. And Frax, as Satoshi was saying, has this whole LSD narrative, liquid staking derivatives. So we talked about that in a previous episode, where when ETH is unlocked from this Shanghai upgrade and people can utilize their Ethereum, you can basically put it in one of these LSD things. You can earn some yield on your Ethereum. You get this other token back, STETH or whatever the heck it is, or blah, 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 blah. But Frax has Ethereum derivatives as well. So they're doing a lot of things on Frax. Another competitor to them is Liquidity again. And their LUSD token. And I'm mentioning these and saying them so many times because I think that, like everybody knows USDT, USDC, BUSD now. Everybody knows those tokens, but not a lot of people, I feel like, know these are major stablecoin tokens in DeFi. Like Frax is a major DeFi stablecoin token. Like it's big news in DeFi. LUSD is big news in DeFi. But maybe not everybody's recognized yet because we're not like really in a bull market. True, no, but wisdom. Was there anything else I wanted to partake on? Oh, before we cut, so that was pretty much that. Before we part today, and do our outros of how we're feeling on the market and stuff. We did get that video. We got that clip, and I didn't go through and edit, so it looks ugly, and you can see tabs and all this stuff. But this is a clip from Jerome Powell speaking earlier today to the House Financial Committee, the House Financial Committee. There's like another word in there at some point. It's like House something Financial Committee, whatever. But
It's like, yeah.
in international commerce because we have those aspects and other countries don't.
Well, that's true to now, but my question is, are you concerned about the actions of these countries? Because if they see themselves being challenged or concerned, for instance, if China would invade Taiwan, as Russia invaded Ukraine, there were some sanctions put on. And I don't disagree with the sanctions. The last time you were here, though, Mr. Chairman, I asked a question because it's an instructive moment for us from the standpoint that knowing that we put sanctions on Russia, all other different accounts, as well as the oligarchs from that country, are we thinking about doing the same thing to China when they invade Taiwan? And your answer at that point was no. We passed a bill out of this committee last week to ask the administration, basically, to start thinking about that in those terms. What kind of situations can you come up with? Are you talking to allies, begin to talk to them, to start putting together a list of how you would go about sanctioning the different individuals, the different accounts, things like that? So have you started thinking about that at all yet?
Well, let me say, the business of sanctions is entirely in the hands of the elected government and the Treasury Department. We are an implementer as it relates to banks. That's it.
Yeah, but we're going to take your advice on different aspects of this, Mr. Chairman.
Sorry?
We're going to take your advice on the different aspects of this.
Well, I mean, honestly, when the sanctions were being put in place, Treasury was doing it. We weren't doing it.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's the way it works.
Next question. There was an article again in one of the political newspapers yesterday, I guess it was, and it talked about the problem that we have here with the Fed's balance sheet. It says it now appears similar to a hedge fund whose long-term assets are financed by short-term borrowing, and the bottom line is that it's going to cost money. The Fed now has a negative income as a result of having to do this. And so it says here that the Fed will simply borrow the money to pay the bills. Is this true? That the Fed's losing money right now as a result of the way you've got these debt borrowings that you've purchased structured?
The place I would start is that the Fed has, we always turn over all of our earnings in every year. We turn them over on an ongoing basis, and we've turned over something like $1.2 trillion in earnings just in the last, decade or so. So we always know that when we raise interest rates,
Okay.
you're going to lose money. And
Okay,
of course,
but
we
you
have
agree
the
with the point that we have a negative income right now.
That's
and
right.
This makes my point to my next question, or my concern is, the CFPB gets their money the CFPB gets their money to run their agency from the Fed.
That's right.
So basically, there's no money for the Fed to pay the CFPB's bills if this is the case, unless you continue to borrow, which is basically what's going to happen now, is you're going to have to borrow money to be able to pay the CFPB's bills. Is that not correct?
No, we don't borrow money. We issue, basically, yes, we don't shut down the Fed when we have negative income.
Okay.
We can pay our bills and we can pay.
So my follow-up question then is, do you do any accountability or assessing of the CFPB's spending of these dollars at all?
No, we don't.
So they just get a
Inspector
blank
General
check.
does.
You just told me they just got a blank check. They send you a bill, you send them a check. There's no accountability for them.
I think there are limits built into the law, which I don't have in the front of my head.
I have yet to see a limit, Mr. Chairman. I'd love to see what the limits are, because I don't think that they've ever agreed that they have that. But I see my time is up. Mr. Chairman, I yield back.
Gentleman's time has expired. We'll now go to Mr. Foster.
Well, damn.
all right. One of the fun committee members there. Yeah, what was the takeaway from that clip? I guess, what did you guys get from that?
Fucking robbing Peter to pay Paul around here. That's my takeaway. God damn it. Just giving all our money to the UK. I'm not gonna get us demonetized, even though we're not making money. The UK.
Okay.
And it's fucking China, man, we gotta owe somebody. all this debt we got. But yeah, I need to watch more clips from that because there were some interesting back and forth that I listened to today from that hearing that were interesting, but a lot of it was just like lip service and Jerome reading us his script.
I would probably say I know why he's squirming, and I know why he corrected that whole issue real fast. At the end of the day, like, and this is why I don't envy anybody who has to make these kinds of decisions. Like, you know, you gotta balance the budget, and it's kind of a hard thing to do right now, but it's kind of what needs to happen. And you know, in the current situation, he's kind of right. Like, we're going to continue to borrow money. We're going to keep digging this ditch, this hole, whatever you want to call it. And it puts us in a weird predicament to where, you know, if the debt gets too big, how are we going to pay it back realistically, you know, in a way that doesn't destroy our economy, essentially. Don't know. That's not a job.
Yeah, because like
anybody would want to take on. So,
see, because technically right now, like part of like what they're saying was like, yeah, so you're not producing money, you don't have money laying around. How are you going to pay China? It's like so you say so saying you borrow this money, we don't borrow the money. People
see,
are like,
did you,
printer
were you
go
paying
burr.
attention to? Yeah, I was about to say, do you see the chat? Printer go burr.
Yeah,
Print, issue.
That's when people are
damn.
like, that's when people were printer go burr because it's like yeah, we don't borrow the money. Like, and I was like, and it was like the way that he did it was like such like a coach. Like, this is how you respond to that type of thing or something like that. Try to shut that down. Which is like, I'm like, yeah, sure, you don't borrow the money. It's worse. You just make it out of then you just put it in an account. You just will continuously put money in their account. It's worse than that. Like, it's worse than borrowing the money. Because if you borrowed it, at least it was coming from somebody else. It was derived from something. It's just coming from nowhere. And there was a few other of these members that, like, you know, brought up points about like they're like, yeah, like 1/4 of all United States debt was incurred during the previous 4 years administration. So I'm not trying to get like political about that while I'm saying this. And they're like, you know, but different sides of the aisle felt differently, you know, at that time. At that point in time, it was like, yeah, whatever, this and that. And now that it's somebody else or the other party, we're kind of like, yeah, maybe we should do something about that. And it's like, you it was kind of funny. They were saying that they're like, you weren't trying to do anything about it before. You were like, yeah, let people think it's the greatest economy ever and just burr. Like, you know, just go ham. Like they forget how many times they said the debt ceiling was raised, but they were like, yeah, it was like raised like 3 or 4 times during that administration. They're like, yeah, and it was like, you know, just push through. So like, you know, nobody's like even like talking about it really. And they're like, and now we're like talking about maybe we'll do it, and everybody's, you know, got this different type of flavor on the situation. Everybody's feeling differently about it, where they're like, yeah, we can't raise the ceiling. No, well, if they do that, then it would just be like, you know, and it's like, haven't we been here before? And that's why I'm like trying to like not make it political. It's like, guys, haven't we been here before? Haven't we seen this type of scenario unfold before? And again, my biggest takeaway from this type of stuff when they have these conversations is like trying to learn from it historically, like what happened in these situations when it came through. If it's anything like the previous administration, it either means it's going to be during this administration, or if we end up switching aisles, we definitely know what's going to happen because there's like, you know, apparently the other aisle is going to be like, yeah, we should do this, and one side's not going to fight us strong or something. I don't know. But eventually, it sounded like printer go burr. Eventually, it sounded like you crank things back up because you have this deficit. And similar to like how a bank, you know, makes loans out. You know, they're like, oh, we'll run a deficit because we trust who we're giving the loan to and the fact that they can make this money. And so if they can make this money back, if the world's largest economy, as we're saying, China now has the world's largest economy. If we're printing, if, you know, we're giving them this not borrowed money, this emitted money, basically, but they can actually turn a profit with it, which, again, the recent crypto narrative has been like, yo, China's pushing the market. When the Chinese wake up, when Hong Kong, look at Hong Kong hour and look at the crypto charts recently. Charts are like Bitcoin is moving, Ethereum is moving around 5 p.m., 4 p.m., right around the time these Chinese markets are opening. It's interesting. And like heavy moves. It's not small moves. I'm like, yo, okay, I got to wisen up. And
Bro,
But
there's nothing to read, man. Buy the fucking dip.
fact on fact on fact. With that said, we're gonna go around. How is everybody feeling about the market today after today's little chat?
A couple of days ago, I bought Matic at like 114 or 111.
Nice. I don't even know what it's at right now, but that doesn't sound like a bad price for it.
I don't really care what it's at because it's going to the moon.
It's 50 cents right now.
Oh, that's all right. Buy the dip. That's
just
another
kidding. I'm
dip for
just
me to
kidding.
buy.
I was like, don't even play. So honestly,
Hold
I
on,
would
let me
like
jump out
tomorrow
my
right
window.
after this stream.
Luckily, it's that's on the first
So
story, so
buy
I
the
won't get
dip.
hurt.
All right, I guess I'll go next.
Sometimes those shortfalls are the worst ones. Yes, hit us with it.
Yeah, it's still bearish. That doesn't mean that you can't make money. As I said at the beginning, it just simply means hey, the correction's coming.
So Infinite's still bearish.
I'm pretty sure it corrected
like,
a while ago.
Well, I'm like, if I were to like further explain that, it's like, I wouldn't say it rallied and we're like off to the races. It's just, I think we're gonna, sit lukewarm for a while.
I think we're gonna range for a bit.
It's time to range. How are you feeling, Satoshi?
I'm feeling like there's some opportunity to get in lower than we were at a couple weeks ago. So I think that you will get a chance to buy some dips, as Bitfiend said. There are a lot of interesting narratives going on right now. And Jerome Powell has been saying a lot of scary things these last couple of days for markets. So it's kind of like, are we going to say fuck the government and Bitcoin's gonna do what it's gonna go up and to the right? Or wait, that looks wrong. Up and to the right, or are we going to basically be like, okay, the Fed's gonna dictate what we do here, and yeah, like the Fed has in the last couple of days just totally kind of, I don't know, to me personally, went back on everything they had been saying for the last couple of months. So it's just like they're talking about more interest rates hikes, more frequent hikes now, and they're walking us into they're holding our hand into an inflation or into a recession. They're just like, yeah, there's going to be a recession, and we're like, okay,
is
why?
it scare tactic though?
They're like, we don't know why there's going to be a recession, but low key they're causing a recession. That's what they're doing. They're like, we're going to do a recession, but it's not our fault. Don't blame us, but we're doing it. What were you going to ask, Smurf?
Yeah, I was saying, do you think it's at all any like scare tactic due to, like, for instance, last time where leading up to the FOMC meeting, people just kind of like, or last few times, people just kind of, the market's just been kind of reacting however the market wants to react, and that's just kind of been like a lot of analysts like response too, where they're like, the Fed's been kind of hawkish, they're still increasing these rate hikes, and the market is like, yo, step on the throttle before the meeting. And like we get like these like crazy runs, and people are like, yo, maybe they're a little too bullish. They don't need to be that bullish before, regardless of what we announce. So I'm like, yeah, do we think any of it at all is a little bit of a scare tactic where they're like, yeah, it's going to get bad out there. Yeah, it's going to get real bad. And then it's like 0.25. And it's like, oh, man, I didn't put those longs in. Like, yeah, we got you.
I think that they're playing it on both sides. Like, it's kind of like a Max Payne type thing. Like, the beginning of this year, they were like, inflation looks good, y'all. Like, it's getting better. It's getting better. And now they're like, oh no, it's actually not looking that much better. And oh yeah, we're gonna go back and edit the numbers we gave you guys these last couple months because we fucked those up. Just a lot of weird stuff. A lot of fear mongering around Mount Gox, and a lot of fear mongering around the Shanghai upgrade. And we don't know what that's going to look like. I think that the market tries to price a lot of stuff in, especially the crypto market. Like we'll listen to what Powell says, and then we'll try to like overcorrect and price it in, and then kind of go from there. Which I feel like that's what we did. We heard what he said about more interest rates and more frequency, and we kind of are trying to price it in. Which I wish we would kind of rip the Band-Aid off and at least like fill that CME gap real quick. But I do think we kind of crab down. And then, dude, like there's just so much wild news, like the news that came out today about the Bitcoin ETF, about how it looks like the SEC might be losing that lawsuit, and so there's a lot of bearish stuff, but there's a lot of good news that's not being seen as good news because of the macro kind of headwinds that we're looking at. So basically, looks bearish, could be bullish, but probably bearish.
Looks bearish, could be bullish. Got a lot of things being kind of swept underneath the rug or the radar due to the current macro environment, is what it looks like you're saying. My opinion on things and how I'm feeling after today's show, same boat. I'm looking to see whether or not this is a bear trap. If it is, yay, right? Hooray. If it's not, all right, we've been here before. Again, I went on a little rant earlier. I think it'll be really hard to I've been charting Ethereum a lot lately, so I try to I often give Ethereum numbers, but Bitcoin is in correlation to it. I think it'd be really, really hard to see Ethereum dipping down into like 13, 12, especially like $1,100 range, and like anything after 1,100, I'm like that's like it becomes like. Because I'm like, right now, your liquidation, I look at it on terms of like how it would affect like traders and like what they like to say, like across the board is like a safe trade leveraged amount, which is like 3% or so. And so I'm like, okay, right now, if you were to get liquidated from staying in your position until the very last moment, it's going to take you down to all the way like $1,100 on like the safest trade thing possible. So that's what people are probably looking at as like, there should be tons of either resistance or that's the end. But after that, if you're opening up another position down there at that low, like you got liquidated, you open another position long at that low, the next liquidation is just way too low. It's like it becomes incredibly low. It's like it's so low. We haven't seen Ethereum there in years, y'all. It's like 3 years, like a long time. Like 4 years, like it's like 2019, like long. Like it's like, Ethereum has not been to that level in a long, long time. Like I don't know. I don't see it staying down to those levels for very long. I think it becomes a very easy long situation. So ultimately, still bullish, feeling kind of like Satoshi, where I'm seeing all sorts of different opportunities and stuff like that in the market. It's good to be a veteran. I'm feeling like I keep feeling more and more like, I need to start positioning things and really taking advantage, not overlooking the fact that you can still make $5, $10, $15 a day in some certain type of plays with as small as like, $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 or something like that. Like, yes, it's a decent chunk of money, but if you're making like actual some type of income off of that,
Damn,
like $5, $10 a day. I was thinking it's nice to have, right? But if you can put that much aside, like it's like like I don't know. I see like
you guys make me want to transfer my ETH to Arbitrum or something, bro. It's just sitting there doing nothing.
I mean, look, I had to reactivate some of our Tron assets, even BTT. Like I was like, the BTT's got to be like
doing nothing.
Yeah, you can't just leave these assets sitting idle if they have the opportunity. And this is the thing: if you have
the problem is though that
go ahead.
It's I would have to have assets that I don't have to trade to trigger that taxable event is the issue. So like I got ETH, so I can use the ETH, but I don't have the USDC to match a pair. You know
I
what
mean,
I mean?
well, that's gonna go to like next. Is like even in certain situations, like this is somebody brought this up recently, and I feel this way in general about these assets. Where I was talking to Satoshi, and I'm like, I'm only holding assets to yield farm with, etc. That I want to hold long term and medium term, and kind of like the same way with what you're saying is it's like if you only have ETH, there's still single asset staking opportunities on Arbitrum or on Ethereum or on Binance Smart Chain, and like on the very low end, right? Like when we're looking at like the crappiest, I'm calling them crappy, like yield opportunities for like some Ethereum or something like that. It's going to be like 2-3%, 4% APY. But the thing is, you were going to be holding the Ethereum anyways. And so like if it's a solid thing, like you might as well just hodl your Ethereum right there, like in Pancake Swap, in Uniswap, or whatever the heck. If it's going to earn you 4% anyways, why not go up with the price? You're still gaining with the price or whatever the heck, and you're earning 4%. And maybe some months it's higher than 4% because of whatever reasons. It's actually 8% that month or whatever. But why not just take that extra percent anyways if you're going to hodl that token? And so that's how I take it in general. And so like, in general, like I like, I do that with my my single staking assets. Like, again, I said I just activated my BTT again. I try to activate my Bitcoin, my Ethereum, and then certain pockets of my part of my DCA back in, I DCA right back into tokens a little bit. And then I take a portion of like USDC and whatever other token or ETH and whatever the pair is. Typically USDC though, and I say, okay, this was just going to sit as $100 of USDC. Maybe I risk some of it. I risk some of it with GMX. It has to be a blue chip that's going up regardless. I risk some of it with GNS as this liquidity pair where people are trading between this token. And so now, since the token's been bullish anyways, I'm likely to go up. My $100 United States of USDC, now that it's split between the two, it's likely to go up over time. And if it goes to the downside, chances are, like with the token ranging primarily up, it's likely to come back up. And it's supported by USDC side of things. Meanwhile, I'm earning trading fees or whatever the yield is. And so I'm also earning 1% a day, or on low end, 0.10% a day, or 0.5% a day or something like that. Whatever it is, I'm still earning. So for the art, in the case of 1% a day or 0.5%, you need the market to outpace you 15-20% that month for you not for it to beat just what you're able to compound into your position. You're just able to earn that much, and then the token's going to go up potentially that month too. So if it goes down, good, you just increased your position, and now you're going to earn more money when it goes to the upside. And if it goes up, cool, you still earn some upside potential, not as much as if you just had it all in that single token, but on top of you still earning that upside potential, you've also been earning daily and hopefully DCAing in to that single asset itself, or increasing your total position so that you just earn at a higher rate quicker. But it becomes a crazy ass snowball, and we definitely need to make some threads about this shit too. The market is
I agree.
It's a special time. It's a special time, y'all. But that's it for today. Do we have any closing remarks before we head out?
Dudes.
I do not.
Buy the dip.
Buy the dip. See you guys
BTFD.
next time. Those.